What's up, YouTube? You're now watching Reason Gang TV. This is your boy Jay, aka Straight Drop Jay, and today we're gonna do a tutorial on the Europa Shapeshifting synthesizer. Now this synth is really dope. It's Europa's flagship synthesizer, which means it's their best production yet in synth-wise. I think, in my opinion, it's slightly doper than the Parsec. Parsec is one of the beasts in Propellerhead's arsenal, but you know what? I think it's just nothing's beating it right now. Thor's up there too, but Europa's just like everything combined into one. So it's a shape-shifting synthesizer, and it's based on wavetable synthesis. Now, it takes a wavetable, which is like a small little sample, and it allows you to shapeshift and shape it and morph it into another sound. That's just one of the cool things in the Europa. There's LFOs, envelopes. The modulation matrix is incredible. It has distortion filters and a bunch of effects. But I'm gonna go into detail with all of that. But just know the Europa is serious. And let's go. Come on. What we're gonna do first is I got a little loop that I just recorded real quick, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how the wave engine works, and how we could shapeshift the wavetables. Here we go. I'm already screen recording, so I'll edit that in a second. All right, you see this game right here? I know it's slight. Let me show you the other engine right here. It's real slight. What I just did was I edited the modulation filter also. So if you look, the mod wheel is connected to the pitch. That was real simple right here. I connected to engine 1 pitch, so basically what it's gonna do is modulate it down 31%. All right, well, back to the waves. All right, so there's 3 engines, 1, 2, and 3. 2 of them are on right now on this preset that I made called Somewhat. So I'll show you with just the first wave. This is just the second. Actually, that one's super low. That's why we couldn't hear the modulation. But listen to how the wavetable shape shifts. All right, so you get a bunch of different wavetables to pick from right here. Right now, I'm using the FM, I think ratio 1:1. Okay, so. But basically, there's a routing right here that allows you, it's already pre-routed to the shape. So if I turn this LFO level up, the sound is going to modulate according to this LFO right here, which is LFO 1. This is LFO 2, LFO 3. But right here, LFO 1. So you see how it's moving? That's the speed that I was letting the LFO modulate it. It's pretty high percentage. Now this is 100. So I'm gonna basically change the wave shape of the LFO. So it's a square. It's gonna sort of cut. See? All right. Now the delay. What that does is it just delays it before it starts. So it'll be normal, and then after a little bit of time, then it'll kick in. Just the longer you delay it, the longer it kicks in. It takes to kick in. Or no delay. So you have a bunch of different wave shapes for each LFO. I like the slow ones, because that enables like a slow sort of evolving type. Back to the engine 1. Now you could use engine 3 too. I don't know what's going on here. Assign. But basically back to engine 1. So I could change the sounds, the wavetables. And the shape. And I could link this LFO, I could link the amount modulation of the shape to any of these different features. Envelope 1 through 4, LFO 1 through 3, velocity, module, key, and random. So let's say instead of linking it to LFO, let's link it to envelope 1. So that's right here. All these envelopes are right here. That's 2, 3, and 4. But right here is where we control the envelope. So I'm going to put the amount up so we can hear what's going on. So you see it's basically following the envelope. Now if we wanted to go faster, same thing as with the LFOs, this is the speed. Now if you wanted to loop like similar to an LFO, it has some cool things called bipolar, which means it goes forward and back. Look. Actually, I don't think it does that. But I'm not sure what bipolar does, but maybe it makes the polarity 2 times or whatever. All right, so beat sync. This basically tempo syncs it to your tempo. So check this out. Okay, so I figured out what bipolar does. That's super cool. It basically, it sounds like what it does is stops the polyphony from going so high, and it sounds about like 2 voices. Now basically it'll let more than 1 voice go. It sort of like sharpens it up. That's kind of like the tone, the timbre that I get. All right, so say you don't like that little curve, so make another dot and play with it. Double click right here. Double click another dot. Now you could do lots of stuff. You could edit the Y positions, which is just up and down instead of left and right. But another cool thing is go to presets. Say you want one of these cool presets right here. Very cool. So the envelope is very, very, very detailed, and you could do a lot of cool things with that. Global links it to the global timing. All right, so we know what's going on here with LFOs, envelopes, the modifiers. Let's go over here. So the modifiers is basically a bunch of cool effects, a lot of distortion effects and harmonic effects, detuning and a bunch of cool things. Phase distort, quantize, downsample, mirror, and basically that has a lot to do with how it modifies this wave right here that we're looking at. So, all right, so let's say we link that to LFO1, right? Let's put the percentage up. Slow it down so we can see what's going on. Hold on, let me put a smoother preset. So that's what FM ratio 1 does. Let's see what hard sync does. So basically it's doing this slinky effect, and it's doing it, the amount is here, and it's routing it to the envelope 1 according to how much. Or you could put it down real slight. So mirror, that basically mirrors itself. See, it's mirroring. downsample. Quantize. So there's it's basically endless cool stuff to do. Even detuning in unison. Endless cool stuff. Modifier 2 is just an addition to that. And of course you could link this to any of these features right here. So let's go to the spectral filter. The spectral filter is dope. It's a spectral filter as we imagine. So you basically can add a certain type of filter. Say we're at resonator right now, and you could play with the frequency like any other filter, play with the resonance. But the cool thing is you could link it to an LFO because it's already linked, right? It's already rooted. So let's go to LFO 2. As we know, the LFOs are here. Let's go and mess with 2. Let's put the percentage up. So right now we have it on a sine waveform going, it's not beat sync. Let's tempo sync it. It's a pretty cool sound. Now we could go one step further with the harmonics and edit it even more. So there's a few types of harmonics: random gain, harmonic 1 through 8 mix, odd even stretch ensemble, sparse, high frequency noise, and harmonic lag. All dope sounds. Now we come to the unison. This is the stereo lover's dream. Unison basically widens everything and makes it really fat. So the count is the number of voices. Blend, it's like our mix. Detune is how much it detunes. So detune will layer the same sound with the actual sound, just tuned slightly different, so it's thicker. Spread, that's the width. So you see how it's getting nice and wide. Voices, of course we know what that is. Amp, that's your ADSR, and you could also link that to other things via the matrix. If you didn't know what the amp is, that's basically attack, decay, sustain, release. This I'll give you a real quick rundown. So a quick attack gives you that pluck. Slow attack gives you like a pad feel. Decay is how long it decays, and that has a lot to do with the sustain. So how much ever sustain you have, it allows you to decay that sustain. Okay, so the release is when you tap the key, how long it stays on. See, I let go already. Now I'm gonna tap it real quick again. See? Okay. Voices, of course, you guys know what voices is. That's how many voices it allows to go be outputted in the synth. All right. Now we're at the filters. The filters is really cool. So I'm gonna put I'll put all 3 engines on so we could see what's going on. I think that's too loud, but let's go. So basically this little dot allows it to run it through the filter or not. We're on a low pass 24 decibel filter. That means the slope on it is 24 decibels that it's cutting down. So the filter, 836 hertz, that's the frequency. So if we wanted to have that Drake darkness, or basically it's kind of like a dance kind of darkness. That's wide open. Now the cool thing about that is, not only can we add drive for that color, we could add resonance. And we can also automate this. And so right now it's going, it sounds sort of like it's cutting down like a little pluck because of this slope right here on the envelope. If we add it, if we put it on a LFO 3, now it's not rooted to this envelope anymore. It's rooted to the LFO 3, and by this much. So that gives it like a sloping in and out, like a sine wave going in and out and in and out, and it's actually automating this frequency right here. Cool, right? Told you this Europa is a flagship synth. It's serious. Okay, so we know how to route it to LFOs and envelopes. Say you wanted to route it to the mod wheel. Okay, now it's rooted to the mod wheel. Completely 100% now. Look. That it edited the pitch because I have the mod wheel linked also. Let's turn that down and see what it actually does without this down here, just this linked. Really cool. Okay, so key would mean it links to the keyboard, so the higher in the keyboard it goes, the more it'll be, and the lower the less it'll be. Random, that's of course random. Velocity is linked to how hard you hit the keyboard, and inverted is basically everything just reversed. So if the envelope 2 is going down like this, it's really what's going up because it's inverted. So the opposite of that would be go right here. You hear the difference? It's reversed. It's inverted. Really cool, dope effects. I'm just putting it back to the LFO because that sounded cool. All right, so now we know how to use the envelopes, the LFOs, the ADSR amp, the filters. We went over the engines, the waves. Of course, the right here on each wavetable, you could go higher or lower on the octaves. That's just 12 keys at a time. Semi is each key at a time. Fine tune is right in between each key. It's a very fine tune, and KBD is just when you bring it to 0, every key on the whole keyboard is gonna do the same key. Probably C, middle C. Anyways, let's see what else is there. We went over the unison, key mode, poly. Okay, so this one's pretty easy, simple. Poly, that's it's letting more than one key be, it's allowing more than one key to be pressed. Okay, you see I pressed the chord 3 keys. It lets them go. Retrig, that's mono. See, I pressed 3 keys and only one's being pressed. Legato is a form of mono also. And it basically allows one key to be pressed, but when you press another key right after it and you're holding it, it keeps that same key and it pitches it up, so you're basically still triggering the same sound. It just continues with a different note instead of a completely new note. So let me show you. As opposed to retriggers it. It's more of a, it sounds more of like a West Side sound. The legato. Retrig is more like for like a 808 bass that you want to just hit. you want it to hit like over and over. You don't want it to start like you want it to hit from the beginning over and over. But that's that's what retrig I use it for. Legato is more for like a West Side synth, and poly is just a poly synth, like when you want to hear more than one key going at one time, like chords and. Okay, we come to Portamento right here. So that's a super cool sound. That's a super cool sound. Put it on and you'll see, let me turn the timing up because you won't hear anything unless you turn this up. It basically stretches from one key to another. So here, let me show you. Let me show you with the keys I recorded. Now, I'm gonna show you off. On. Okay, so now that brings us to auto. Auto is basically Portamento is off until you hold the key and then press another one right after it. So I just pressed individual keys. Now I'm gonna hold the key and press another one after it, and you'll see what auto does. So in order to engage the Portamento, you have to hold the previous key and press another key after it. That's basically what auto is. It's cool for when you want to do it only at certain parts, but for the most part, I leave it off and then play with it later when I'm modulating to just add that stretchy feel. Time is how long it takes for each key to morph to the other key, the other pitch. Okay, pitch right here. This is the pitch range. So if you wanted to go up an octave, put it at 12. Now say I'm pressing C, probably C2. See, it goes all the way up 12 keys. If I only wanted it to go up 3 keys, I put that. If I wanted to go 1 key, I like putting it at 12 because I like octave changes. Like I like to like say, all right, let me show you how I was doing it. How I like to do it. I'll play something and then right when it loops, I'll drop up I'll change the pitch right there. Right when it loops, and it sounds pretty cool. You see? It gives it like a octave effect. Okay, now this brings us to the effects section. This is real straightforward. If you know about effects, then you know this is pretty straightforward. All right, the delay is the only one on this preset. Let's turn it off. All right, let's go to reverb. Turn it on. Your mix. Tail, size, and EQ damping. Pretty straightforward. Delays, ping pong, that means stereo. Pan was where it starts from left or right, the ping pong. Feedback, of course, that's how long it goes. Oh, it's all off. Let's turn it on. You can hear it better when the release is down. The time. Okay, so the distortion, you got a bunch of different distortions. And your tone drive. Pretty straightforward. Comp. So your attack, that's how quick it grabs the transient in the beginning. Release, how quick it releases the volume after it catches the transient. Threshold, that's how low you want, how the level you want it to start kicking in. And ratio is how much you want it to compress. So let's go to phaser. which is a mixture between chorus, flanger, and phaser, your amount, depth, rate, spread, and you could just change whatever you want here. Cool. EQ, straightforward. You pick your frequency, your Q width, and your gain. Pretty straightforward. Now that leaves us with the modulation matrix. Now for me to explain this, I gotta start all over. So let me create another device, and I like that preset, so I'm gonna just leave that up there and save it for later. So okay, right click, reset device. Now we're in the beginning. So I think it starts with a basic analog sine. Let me take these keys and I'll use those real quick as a starting loop, and I'll show you how to modulate. Okay, so now we're in the mod matrix. This is one of the dopest parts of any synthesizer, and I'm gonna give you the keys right now on how to do this. Check this out. Say not only do I want this unison to go on and off with the LFO, but I want the pitch to go up and down with at the same time. So okay, let's start from the beginning. All right, so the first thing I'll do is I'll add this unison and I'll connect it to a LFO because I want it to go on and off, right? So this LFO is now going to control this unison. Now I want it to control it a lot, so I'll put the amount up, and the destination will be the unison. So let's look for the unison. Okay, right here, engine 1, we're gonna apply it to the engine 1 unison. So what do I want it to do? The count, the detune, the spread, the blend. All right, I'm gonna do the blend because the blend is basically the mix. So now it's going on and off, as you could see. I'm gonna turn these up a little wider so you can hear more of the effect. I just moved this shape so you could see like the wideness of it. Slow it down. Okay, so now that's going on and off. I wanted it to make the pitch go up and down too. So I'm gonna grab the LFO 2. Now I could use the same LFO, but I'm gonna use the LFO 2, turn up the amount, and we're gonna connect this to the tune of engine 1, which is the pitch. See, now you get that ghost sound. Let me turn up the speed a little. Maybe I want it to kick in a little bit after you press the keys. All right, so that sounds cool. Okay guys, so there was one aspect of the Europa that I didn't go over, and that's the user wavetables. You basically can upload your own wavetables via wave file. So any samples that you have, you could upload them, and once you upload it, you just choose from their wavetables. There's a choice where it's called user wavetable or user wavetable smooth. Basically just choose that, and you could use your own sounds to create synthesis, and it's a dope way to create unique sounds. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you guys subscribe, and let me know any comments, if anything, any cool things that I didn't cover. And also I'm gonna be doing some new tutorials soon on new synths. I haven't decided yet, but it's gonna be some dope stuff. And thanks for watching, man. Reason Gang TV, I'm out.